Hello, today is July 18 and this is day somewhere in the 30s of the Haizhen log. So thanks for joining me again today. And what's on my mind today is intention. Intention is something that I learned through my hypnosis training in 2019, and I found that this is a concept that um, is really powerful when used intentionally. So today I just like to share some thoughts on intention and intentionality. And then at the end again, of course, I'll pause and kind of do a little bit of a reflection and kind of see where I've been going. So, what is intention? I think intention is this concept that I was exposed to in 2019 in a very specific way. So when I was learning about hypnosis, thinking about the intention of the communication, or kind of having like an almost image of the type of outcome that I would want to um, produce for the subject or the client that I'm working with, kind of where uh, intention was introduced. So the idea is to kind of like be able to know and visualize the outcome that I wanted to have, and use that as a guide to kind of think about what it is that the ultimate outcome should be, or what it is that I'm aiming for. Um, why am I actually spending time talking to you or engaging in a particular conversation? Within the hypnosis context, um, and I might butcher this because it's been a little while explaining it, but like thinking about this, like holding a positive intention for the person across from you, it's almost like um, underlying, like it kind of defines the context in which you interact with another person. Because if you have a specific intention, then that's kind of the way that you will show up and engage with another person. I found this really enlightening because if I think back, so what happened was after I was going through my hypnosis training as I was working as a pharmacist in the community, and it made me pause and consider the interactions that I had with patients, to consider what my intention with patients would be. Sometimes when you're in the day to day and you're moving from one task to another, it's easy to lose sight of intentionality, because your day just becomes a list of tasks or things that are put in front of you that you just kind of have to do, manage, move through. Um, and I found that with that idea of intention, it helped me to pause and then consider what I was actually doing with a patient. So if I were to engage in a conversation with a patient or another person, a student, a colleague, or whatever, what is the intention of my communication? Why am I saying the words that I'm saying in this particular moment? It's not in the sense of like having an ulterior motive, or to really want to kind of like control a situation, or it's not necessarily like this kind of thing. I think of like manifestation, where it's like, if I think it, then it will become reality. And in some sense, that's true, of course, um, because everything is true in some sense. But having having a positive intention is not really looking at having a specific outcome, but I like to think of it a little bit more of a vibe of like, this is what I'm going for. It's a direction to move into, and how it ultimately manifests is not something for me or for you to define in the moment. It's not about looking for a specific outcome, but moving in a specific direction. On another level, it talks about, I think another way of conceptualizing it is, what do you want? And when you can communicate with that, then you can communicate more clearly when your communication has a specific purpose or a specific intention. So, like, even thinking about this particular format, like having these conversations and making this, it's like, what is the intention of all of this? Well, when I first started these, like, go back to the very first day, and it might just be like super random. Like, I'm just just turn on the camera and I'm like, I thought I would do this thing. And if you look back, actually, I'm thinking back to those first couple videos. The very first one, all of this started because I watched a TikTok that said, document the next 90 days because your life is about to change. And I'm like, cool, that sounds like a great idea. So I'm going to do that. And I didn't have a specific intention to post any of these actually. I thought I was just going to record them and then just kind of file them away, put them on a hard drive somewhere so that I guess like it would be more for myself. And then I started thinking like, oh, it would be nice to share this out with some people like that are close to me that I would love to get their kind of feedback on, or like kind of share my journey with them a little bit for whoever is interested. And then after 2 days, I think what made me think of uploading this onto YouTube was um, I was trying to share it out, and it just was like a huge process. Like if I upload it onto, like I had this whole like maze, a labyrinth of thoughts in my mind to say like, if I upload it here, then I'm going to have to upload it there. And then if I want to share it out, like, should I share it out on YouTube? Should I share it out on like some other like file sharing, like video sharing platform? And I guess like these details are not like really not important to you, and probably a little bit boring. But that's kind of the thought process that I had gone through. Like, is it really that, like, was it really that big of a problem? I made it that way, so it was. And then after 2, 3 days, I'm like, I'm just going to start uploading these onto YouTube. Um, and again, like the intentionality was only to make the videos at that point. So if you watch back to the communications and the things that I'm talking about, some of them are kind of rambly. I think like even on the third or the fourth day, some of them I'm just like kind of sitting in thought, like just like, oh, I'm just like trying to take it all in, and because I didn't really have a specific intention, which is fine. The only intention that I had was to keep making these videos every single day. I didn't have a specific like outcome for them, but I did know that that was the direction that I wanted to go in, and I succeeded in that. I just kept making these videos. As a result of that, the intention began to become more clear, which is I started to talk more about my program, the Haizhen Transformation. I started to conceptualize and kind of share out some of the things that were only living in my head. And as part of that process, I came to some realizations, sometimes while making these videos, or sometimes outside of making these videos, where I'm talking to other people or I'm receiving some feedback from them. Like people telling me about one thing or another after watching one of these. And that whole thing was also really helpful. So all of that kind of like came together in the sense of like, I knew that I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I didn't know exactly where to start. I've commented on this before about like, where is the starting point? So the intention of actually just making these videos first off, and then the intention of then like, okay, I'm going to put these out there. After I made that intention, I think it was after the second day, it did take another like maybe week and a half before I actually like put one of these out into the wild. Um, and that again was a whole um, kind of like storm of thoughts. Like, oh, like, do I really want to put this out? Who's going to listen to it? Does it really matter? And again, it's like, is the intention of putting these videos out there to like, was I looking for a certain response? And I think unconsciously at some level I was, which is to say, um, I wanted to get views, I wanted to get likes, I wanted to get comments, like have people engage with this material because I believe in it and I think that it's interesting. Um, and I was like just hoping that other people would as well, and that would have been the indicator. But then to upload a video expecting that very specific result, it's very easy to then do something, not see that result immediately, and then pause and to pause and then say like, oh, like this isn't working. I need to stop because like if my intention was to get, let's say, likes on this particular video, then I would be um, not getting that immediate feedback and kind of maybe would shift my direction. So then like the intentionality in all of this is kind of like really growing. And part of the intention was to just continue doing it, to simply just go and do something. Um, and the more that I did these things, the more that that recognition would come in, and it came in different wonderful ways that I would have never expected, that I could have never imagined myself. So, for example, one was talking to a friend of mine, Joe, and he was saying like how he saw my Instagram post, and he was even talking about the one that I had posted just that day. And I was like, wow, like somebody's seeing this, somebody's reading it, and that was like, oh, like that was a really nice moment. Um, Another one was my cousin Jason, who is watching these videos, and I'm like, oh, like thank you for watching them. Like I was really excited, actually, to hear that he was watching them, and he's I believe he's watching them. So when you see this, like in 2 weeks from now, thank you for being you, thank you for being here, and supporting me with your presence. Um, it's it's no small thing, which is another way of saying it's a big thing, and I thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So like seeing these things, like sure, like the videos are getting like if I look at the analytics, it's like oh like 10 views, 20 views. I'm like, wow, 20 people like somehow click through these videos and watched something. And then finally, like I saw another one of my classmates, Andrea, actually commented on one of my videos. So thank you as well. Thank all of you who interact with this. Like I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Um, the intention is to eventually like get this out there and get a message out there, um, and like thinking about intention, like even like to pause and think about like what that outcome that I see for myself in the future, um, is something that hasn't fully taken shape yet, and I think that's something that's going to come together over the next little while. um, if I continue on with this kind of just going with the flow and moving in a specific direction. And sometimes when you're moving into like new um, areas that you've never walked or explored before, it is a little bit of like a like I don't know what's going on. I need to like just keep on moving forward, right? Like one of the things that I really enjoy is like exploring and wandering around cities. Like even like downtown Toronto, for example, where I live. I spent a couple days in Japan earlier this year, and like really just like wandering around and exploring. And there are maps, right? Like there was Google Maps, there was like Google Translate for reading signs. There's a lot of English signs actually in Japan as well. So navigating wasn't really that big of an issue. And this isn't a video about navigation, but it's important because kind of like being able to get your bearings of like kind of knowing where you are helps a little bit. And at the same time, it's not that I wanted to go to any specific place. Um, Really, like the vibe that I really enjoyed was just simply exploring. So bringing more of that into this work of like creating something and making something that is building up a business, basically, um, feels weird because like my only interactions with business and with work has been through those official channels of like being hired by a company, an organization, an institution, and then having a job description, which I talked a little bit about yesterday, and then um, just kind of like having a role more or less defined, right? But then again, going into this, it's like, okay, what direction? Like I can literally go in any direction. Like this video could have like effects and text and all of this stuff. And I'm going for like a very plain, like just because of my um the capacity that I have. And that's fine. Like I'm building up. And the thing is, what you might notice if you go back to some of the early videos is mm, the intention was literally just to film the video and not worry about anything else. So you'll see like, like backgrounds that are a little bit messy and that are not like completely like made up, right? Like this background here is like just messy as well, but it's a little bit cleaner than all of the other like kind of the other views in here. Like I could show you like my workout equipment with all the elastics and bands and stuff that are hanging off of it, or all of my papers and like random equipment and cables that are all over the place. But then this kind of came together. So I've been using this for the last couple days, and it's been nice that rather than starting in a place like like, is this the way that it's going to look for the rest of time? Like, no, I'm probably going to clean it up and change things over. Like, if you notice over here, if you can recognize who this guy is, comment down below. That's bonus marks for you. Um, but I'm starting to like think about like, oh, like maybe I can add little things here and make little changes. Ultimately, the thing to do is to continue to make these, to get in front of the camera and just make the videos talk. Also, part of what that does is help me kind of clarify the thoughts of that I'm putting into the program. Because again, like that, I mentioned this in another log, another video at some point about the idea of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. And on a very practical sense, like if you look for it, you will see it everywhere. So then the idea of like um, talking in this format kind of helps me structure other thoughts, because like a lot of these things have like relationships, there's correspondence between them. So then, because I'm talking about this and I'm actually doing, then this actually ties in really nicely to the Haizhen transformation, where the idea there is not to just overload you with information. I think in the original like mental iteration of the program, I was going to teach a lot of different things, like talking about all the different nuances of hypnosis and like the unconscious, and like really getting deep into that. And it would have, I think the approach was a very one first line approach of like giving you all of the information. And I realize now that all of the information isn't necessary to actually like do the thing, which is to um, have that transformation where you can move from burnout into brilliance, where you can shine with your authentic alignment. And being able to kind of like move through that and like pare down the program in a way that is like, I'm going to give you what's immediately usable, really speaks to this kind of experience. So one of the key features of that program is it will be an experience where from the get-go, with the information that I will be sharing with you and teaching to you, you can put that into practice in your own life in a way that doesn't kind of take away. It's not so much like, oh, you have to set aside time to do these things, because that's often one of the barriers that I find in learning new things and learning new programs, is like finding the actual time to implement them into my life, so that it becomes like immediately practical and usable. Like when you start to use something and do things, that's when it becomes a lot more real. So then, whatever you're doing out there, whether it's engaging in a new program, learning something new, picking up a new skill, or whatever else, what is the intention? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? That intentionality becomes so important, because that will kind of define how you move forward and how you show up. So intention is something that is really important, I find, in a lot of my communications and how I reach out to people. And it's something that I think about a lot. And at the same time, it's remembering that I need to not focus so much on a specific outcome, to have the intention of a specific outcome, but more the intention of a specific direction is helpful. So, like vibes. um, I'm also that's it for intention. We'll end it there. Now I'm going to reflect for a couple minutes. Where am I at today? I'm kind of like floating in a nice way, like just kind of in between things. I'm just continuing to work on the program and outlining it. I've got a pretty good outline, and a lot of like the information is like really coming together nicely in a way that I like. And I'm going to continue on doing that. I've taken a pause on posting on Instagram and LinkedIn. So the week before I had posted, and I was posting pretty regularly. I haven't posted anything this week except for like a random photo, and I'm good with that. I'm ready to get back out into that kind of like content creation for that social media platform, um, and just remembering to put things out there consistently, consistently inconsistent, is kind of where I'm kind of at until I can build up like a nice system. Part of it, sometimes what pauses and what keeps me from posting is like when I again get stuck in my mental labyrinth of like, is this going to resonate with people? Like, is what I'm saying making sense? And I have to remember that it doesn't matter because I have a fairly decent sense. Most of the things that I say kind of resonate or will connect with people. Um, and the message will connect with the ones that it needs to connect with. It's one of the things that, um, it's one of the sayings that I really love, again, from the Kabbalion. If you haven't noticed by now, that book has had a significant influence on how I kind of frame things because it just has a lot of kind of like interesting mm, phrases, sayings, or paradoxes that you just have to like kind of think about before you can like actually like what does this mean? And then you can start to observe them and see if like it actually makes any sense to you. So the thing that resonates here is the idea that the lips of wisdom are sealed, but to the ears of understanding. The lips of wisdom are sealed, but to the ears of understanding. And this is, I've noticed this in my own life, where I go back and revisit a program. So, like when I was initially learning hypnosis, it was like I spent a 3 year period of like just consuming everything that I could about hypnosis. I was going back and rewatching training videos and reading books and all of these things. And when I would go back and revisit material, inevitably I would read something and like have a new layer of understanding there. And that's exactly what this means to me is that the information is only hidden from you based on your level of understanding and based on how you as an individual can engage with that information. So take the time to go back and revisit like things that you've read before, things that you've learned before. And with all the experience that you have now looking back, you will 100% come to a new realization in that moment. So, um, yeah, I'm going to keep on keeping going. I think I keep on saying that. It probably something that would be nice is to have a nice sign on or whatever, because I think I started this video with more of like, hey, like this is whatever, and like tried to do a little bit more of like a official like YouTube opening, like whatever that might look like. So we'll see if I keep up with that. But I want to do things that kind of like make sense and feel natural, right? Like and subscribe for more. Comment down below. Hit the like button. Smash that like button. Like good reminders, because sometimes people need reminders. Like you go about doing things and you might not think. And where do those things help? Like a lot of YouTube videos say, like when you engage with this video, it helps get it out there and helps get it in front of more people. So if you found value in this, please, I would really appreciate it if you shared it out or told somebody about this. That would be really cool. I'm also like uploading this onto Substack and it's on Spotify and podcasts and stuff like that. If you want to listen without the video, is also cool. Um, and that's it until tomorrow. We're gonna come back tomorrow. And what I've been doing is writing down kind of like one or a word or one or two topics that I'd like to talk about within these videos. And that's kind of this format. So yesterday was like that, today was like that. All the other days are kind of like a mishmash of like different random thoughts. And we'll see. I think that this format is really nice for me to kind of like just talk and ramble about a specific topic. So I imagine what's going to happen over the next while is I'll continue to reflect and I'll have a really great record of kind of my journey throughout this whole process of creating the Haizhen transformation, as well as creating all of these Haizhen log YouTube videos. And I think what I see forming now is like this is the content. Like I would love to kind of teach in this format, and then continue to reflect. And who knows, like maybe it'll split, maybe it won't. I don't know. It really depends on the time capacity that I have. Because if you've ever tried to make any videos, content for YouTube or any other kind of social media, and then start editing and getting into all of these things, what you will probably find is that it's very easy to go down like rabbit holes of doing too much DTM. I think that's going to become a core component of my Haizhen transformation is like noticing when you're DTM, when you're doing too much. Um, The last thought that I will leave you with is that idea of burnout. Burnout is not solved by rest. Burnout is a symptom of DTM. You're doing too much. And doing too much of what specifically is you're doing too much of the things that are not aligned with you. I'm going to leave it at that. We'll get into that at some point. Maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow. I would say like comment down below, blah, 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 and tell me if you want to hear about that. But you know what? I'm releasing these on a odd schedule, like 2 weeks out. So by the time that you comment on this video, we'll be I'll be filming like 2 weeks out. So it's not to say that this isn't live or have any like specific kind of like it's like please interact if you want something in a video. If you want me to talk about something, make a comment, message me, find me on wherever, and I will respond to you because I am a person that can read. And now that you know that fact about me, I'm going to peace out. Take care.